How's it going, everybody? Hope you're having a great day. I had originally planned to get over to my mother-in-law's today to take care of some yard work for her, but with 30-mile-an-hour winds and rapidly dropping temperatures, the idea of chasing leaves around the backyard with a rake and a leaf blower just seems kind of ridiculous, so we put that off for a little while. The day hasn't been a total wash, though. I got a chance to do some things around here, and now I have some time to reflect. Having grown up in Northeast Pennsylvania like I did, one of the things that was just accepted as part of life was the absolutely spectacular falls that we would have. I can remember as a kid walking through the forests near my house, just alive with oranges and yellows and umbers and salmon and pink. One of my favorite projects was the one that my grade school had us do inevitably every year, to go out, collect leaves, to make collages with them. I wouldn't stop until I found the perfect leaves for that project. It was just a wonderful experience. And so many people are fascinated by that absolutely kaleidoscopic canopy of the trees. And if you've ever been in a Northeast Pennsylvania fall, you'll know exactly what I mean. And while there's no doubt that it's beautiful and it's mesmerizing, one of my favorite aspects of fall was that of the leaves piled up on the ground, kicking through them, hearing the crunch, getting that sour tea smell of the oak leaves that would waft up as you walk through them when they were a little damp, piling the leaves and rolling in them, drawing them up over me like a blanket and just laying there, covering my entire body with them, burying myself in them, getting that smell, that peaceful feeling, the feeling of floating, of being held. It was a wonderful thing. And at this time of the year, when we see the trees that are either bare or on their way there, and the leaves on the ground, it's easy to reflect on those things that have fallen away from our own lives. Some we've given up willingly, others have been taken away from us by the strong winds of change. Friends who've passed through our lives who are no longer there, family members we no longer see, or maybe who have died, places we've gone, things we believed, ways we acted. All these things that have come and gone. Another metaphor that's often reflected upon this time of the year is that of the harvest. The things that we collect, the things that we bring in and fill our cupboards with, that nourish us through the long, cold winter. And while it's easy to look at that side of it, there is another side to the idea of the harvest, and that's the things that get left behind. Not only the obvious, the seeds that have fallen from the plants, but also the stems and the dying leaves and the decaying roots, all those things that once supported the fruits and the vegetables that we've harvested, but now get left behind to die and to rot, to get mixed in with the soil, to begin to support those seeds that have fallen. Big part of emotional recovery is learning what to take with us, and learning what to leave behind. And in my reflections today, I started to think about the old behavior pattern of hypervigilance that tends to hang on so hard sometimes. Growing up in an unstable environment, it was always easy to say the wrong thing. Just a simple word or two could trigger an emotional outburst or an argument, could trigger some form of abuse, verbal, maybe a spanking, maybe even worse if you were some of my friends. And so we were constantly on the lookout, like a sniper in a nest, scanning the faces, scanning the eyes, listening intently to every word, listening to every creak on the floor. every low discussion in a far room, waiting, wondering, feeling the air, reading as many of the clues as we could, because we knew inevitably there would be an outburst. And some of us came to believe that we were the cause of it, no matter what. And so we began to feel that way about ourselves. We couldn't do anything right. We couldn't say the right thing. And every insult, every angry outburst, we took it in and we took it personally. And we held ourselves to blame. And for some of us, those old wounds have yet to heal. We're not always aware of that, though. They pop up from time to time. I had that type of experience just the other day. I won't go into details, but I'll leave it with this. There's a lot going on in our country right now, politically, that really has me concerned, has me upset. And there was a specific thing that took place the other day that didn't just have me pissed off. It had me fucking pissed off. And part of it was the way millions of people who depend upon health care or food benefits were getting thrown under the bus. That part came from my heart. I'm still almost near tears right now about this. But there was an anger. There was a rage that was there. And as I sat with that, I understood that it was because I was taking this as a personal attack. Part of me felt that it was itself being attacked by something that wasn't directed at it. And I know that that goes back to those old childhood wounds. But instead of fuming, instead of really, really working myself into a rage, I had some insight. And I stopped. And I asked myself, what would happen if I decided not to take this personally? And I immediately felt that rage melt away. The heartbreak is still here, but the anger is gone. This is an opportunity to begin to reflect on those things, and maybe for those of us who've likewise experienced that same kind of thing, to really look deep within ourselves and to see where our anger is coming from. And to look at that anger and to see whether or not part of it, at least, is due to an old wound in our relationships, in the world at large, even with our own stories that we build up about ourselves or others or the way the world should be. When reality steps in and conflicts against that and shows us that that's not the way things really are, when we begin to rage against that, maybe we can just step back, breathe a little bit, feel that anger, feel that rage, and ask ourselves, what would happen if I decided not to take this all personally? Until next time.